Yo.
Yes, sir.
What's up, guys? Yes. This DJ will kick the floor in three, two, 1.
On the troll.
Hello and welcome to Mzansi. We're back again. This is the time for us to start doing what we are doing. But no, you'll be asking yourself questions, obviously. We have also to keep them guessing. We start in different times. You know the situation is situationing here, where our streams, I don't know, things are just happening. We're not going to say much. So we're here today, and this is the time. And if you were wondering, that's exactly why we start around this time. Emily?
Yeah, I know it's late, but guys, we have to experiment to see where we will find ourselves, what's really the problem, you see.
Mm-hmm.
So guys, welcome back to the Mzansi Reality YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us. If you managed to join us, highly appreciate it, and please don't forget to like the video and also press that like button as well as subscribe and join the membership. I hear a lot of people asking, where do we join? Well, next to the subscribe button, the black subscribe button, after you've clicked it, it's no longer black, it becomes white.
And if you have an iPhone, it's a different situation,
Okay.
as we have since established there.
Okay.
It's an issue of browser and whatnot. But obviously, we explained yesterday, and we hope that our people will also be assisting on the chat, those who have information, technical issues, obviously,
Yes,
different phones. I mean, you have different iPhone people have different problems when it comes to this, unfortunately. Yes.
Okay, I didn't know that iPhone is different with YouTube. I didn't know that. So, yeah, please join the membership if you can. And, welcome back, guys. Let's talk about Mngomezulu's cross-examination that happened yesterday. It was very interesting. He picked some of the timestamps that were a bit dodgy. And it's amazing how Mogane had explanations, for those gaps that he did not disclose before. With the re-examination with the state, he did not disclose the details. He's only disclosing them now under cross-examination, which I found very interesting. Very, very interesting. But let's unpack it, guys. So Sergeant Mogane was expected to conclude his car movement evidence, and the defense was expected to cross-examine him on the trip to Moroka police station from Vosloorus on the day Bongani Ntanzi allegedly confessed. Now, Advocate George Baloyi reiterated on the dates the 22nd and the 24th, as well as the 5th of June 2020, that the Toyota Fortuner was not used. The logbooks for the 5th, the 22nd, and 24th of June 2020 were still not yet made available this morning. Baloyi said that the investigating officer is currently looking into the logbooks, and Baloyi said that he had already informed the defense yesterday after the adjournment.
The same investigation officer who's supposed to give us dockers and not giving us. Well, the investigation officer is now on an issue of a logbook. Now you can imagine when this is going to come. And when will it come? No one knows.
No one knows.
I saw a clip of Maleme talking about this case. How our police, and someone sent it to me.
That's
how
interesting.
Our police seemingly might have messed this case up. He was talking about, I think, the case of the EFF member, Gadi, is it Gadi? And then he made a reference to this case, how they have butchered on purpose. But in his submission, he was sort of saying that the judge has no problem. We might hear people saying that the judge would have a problem, or the judge is bored. The judge is working with the information that is in front of him. basically blaming the police. No, you cannot blame them in isolation.
I don't think Malema is watching the case.
No, you can't blame this particular case. I don't think, I do not think that you can literally separate anything that is happening in that court from the judge.
That judge is special. It's like no other. Remember how Malema shouted at the magistrate there at Eastern Cape? And she just kept quiet. There was no back chatting. You understand? She just said, okay, I apologize. It will not happen again. This is the last time that I come late. But in my understanding is that I was waiting to be called from the chamber, something like that. There was no back and forth with Malema, no. But this judge, should you have spoken like that to him, there's a possibility that there would have been a back and forth type of situation. Very combative, that one. So the judge said what is important is if another car was used, and Baloyi said he used a different vehicle, and they're trying to get the logbooks. So for these dates, the 5th, the 22nd, and the 24th of June 2020, Mogane was using a different car, not the Fortuna. So they are looking for the logbooks for those dates or with that vehicle, so that they cross-examine, especially with regards to accused number 1. So it appears it was not fitted with the same AVL system, as those car details are not available. So this is interesting. Advocate Thulani Mngomezulu proceeded with cross-examination on other dates. Mogane was going through a list of the AVL entries which show him driving in Soweto on the evening of the 19th of June 2020. Mogane was reminded of the time they went to accused number 2's workplace at Rustenburg and a trip to Alberton. Mogane said he does not remember where they went to, but he proceeded to do other duties. Mngomezulu took Mogane to the 18th at 8:19 and then started to narrate all the times. There was really nothing much up until 10 o'clock. So Mngomezulu said 10:11 you were driving in Carltonville, and Mogane said yes. Mngomezulu said at 10:23 it shows the car was in access, it was access idling, and Mogane said the road has stop signs. So at the time that it was idling, as they were leaving at some place, I remember in the morning when they left the police station, it was around 4:20, and it says access idling, and he said it was because it was a stop sign. And Baloyi objected and said it was for 2 seconds. The access idle was for 2 seconds, so he doesn't understand why it's been hammered on like that. But then later on, there's another idling at 10:23. So Mogane said the road had a stop sign, or had stop signs, not just one, but many stop signs. So Mngomezulu then said at 10:25 it was switched off, and at 10:29 it was switched off again, and in 15 minutes it was started again. Why did it stop? And Mogane said, if I'm not mistaken, I was speaking to Brigadier Gininda, giving him directions because we didn't know the place. Mngomezulu said, is that the same reason it was off at 11:22? And Mogane said it could be because I don't remember when we arrived at the mine gate. So this is the day that they made the trip to Rustenburg, Danzi's previous workplace. That's accused number 2. So Mngomezulu then asked, at 15:38 it reflects access idling in Carltonville. At 15:59 ignition is off in Carltonville. At 17:16 it's a startup again towards R501 in Western area, and at 17:33 you joined the N12. At 17:53 near El Dorado Park and past Devland, 17:45 towards Ayrton, you then passed Ridgeway Winchester Hills. At 18:03 you were in Oak Dean. The ignition went off at Glen Eagles, and at 1824 you drive again. At 1826 you pass Boundary Lane in Johannesburg South, and at 1842 GPS was unlocked. And then they asked him, what is that? What does it mean, GPS unlocked? And Mogane said that he doesn't know the explanation of GPS unlocked. Mngomezulu then said, as you affirmed, okay, he said that does it need an expert for us to know what GPS unlocked means?
Definitely does need an expert.
And he said, yes, Mogane. So, kuzoyenzakalani? I'm just curious because this evidence was pushed through to be carried by Mogane under that he's an expert, right? The judge said he's an expert. And now he doesn't even know what GPS unlock means. And now they're asking, should we require an expert to... What will the record say with regards to that? I'm just curious. I'm just curious. So when you approach a grey, there is a T-junction, Mngomezulu asked, which turn did you make on Grey Avenue? And Mogane said at the T-junction, we turned right. Mngomezulu then said there is an engine garage there. And according to AVL, it shows you were driving near Collins Street and not on it. And Mogane said, I will not confirm or dispute because I don't know the street in that area. Mngomezulu said, as you are driving on Grey Avenue, you can't turn into Collins Street. You have to use another street. And Mogane said, I don't know how to respond to that as I don't know the streets. Well, the judge suggested that they get a Google map for that, okay? There was a standing down, a short break to go look for a Google map to find this area. Well, after they came back, Mngomezulu was still on the 18th of June 2020 at 1853, and it showed Mali Street, Verwoerd Park, Alberton. From that time, you did switch off the vehicle, and Mogane said yes. And by the way, he stood down or withdrew that question that required the Google map. He let it go, he withdrew it. So Mngomezulu then said between 1853 and 1915, you started it up again. And Mogane said yes. Mngomezulu said it gives 22 minutes. From 1915 to 1920, you were at Collins Street, according to your observations. Are Mali and Collins parallel? And Mogane said, I won't be able to comment as I don't see the roads. Then Mngomezulu asked, the version of the accused is that the first time he was assaulted is next to a garage. And Mogane said, I'm listening. And it was at an open area because he was not assaulted inside the garage. And Mogane said, I'm listening. And where he was assaulted was close to the garage and the road is separate by Grey Avenue. So we have a place where the alleged assault took place. So Mngomezulu then said, so that's approximately 37 minutes. And according to his version, that's when he said you parked with Sergeant Mabena, Jonathan came, and Maphumulo, and Buthelezi. From 1930 to 1935, that is when there was a movement. There was access idling at Fraser Street in Germiston. So you'd agree that the car moved from Alberton to Fraser Street in Germiston. And Mogane said yes, as the AVL shows. So that 37 minutes is very interesting.
I must be a Sangoma though. Yesterday I did break it down before you hear it in court.
Yes, you did.
Even the water.
Even the water situation.
Yeah, even the water situation. It was married to that thing, and the questions were just moving.
Yeah,
so
it did.
It did look like that. Even those minutes that we calculated yesterday, it did look like that. So what I'm seeing is that seemingly, let us start by saying that by merely opposing or objecting to this evidence, Mngomezulu was just doing the procedures.
Okay.
Maybe also buying time and confusing the enemy.
Okay.
He does not look like someone who objected to this
No, it didn't
information.
feel like it, right?
He is flowing. It's like he is the one who submitted it.
It's like he took it out of his system that actually I didn't want this evidence to be presented. I was disputing it.
He is flowing, shooting the sky. It's like this is his information.
Filling in the gaps.
Filling in the gaps. Even though there are some unexplained situations even around that so-called information, but he's working with what he has.
So, yes, as the AVL shows, Mngomezulu then said for 1942, you went back to Collins Street in Alberton. At 2017, the car started again. And Mngomezulu said at 2023, the ignition at Mali Street was off. At 2025, the car was started again. And at 2030, the car was in access idling. So from 2030 at Mali Street to 2130, the car was still idling excessively. So at 2155, the car was still there until 2205. And at 2210, which is 10 past 10 in the evening, the car is still idling in Germiston. Can you confirm there was movement of the car from Mali Street, Alberton to Fraser Street in Germiston? At 22:52 was start up again at Mali Street, and at 22:58 the car was driving at Mali, reflecting as access idle and then ignition. At 23:05 there was a startup of the vehicle near Mali Street, and at 23:10 there was access idling. At 23:15, there was excess idling. Same applies to 23:20 and 23:25. And 23:27, the car is off. And at 0014, now this is the 19th of July. So everything that I was reading up until now was from the 18th of July.
Yes.
Then from the 19th of July, the car was started up. And at 0019, there was access idling again. And at 0023, the car is driving near Mali Street in Alberton. At all these times, Mali, Collins, Fraser Street, where is the escort? And Mogane said they were present. Mngomezulu then asked, what are you confirming? What are you telling me is consistent with what accused number 2 said? There was a garage or petrol station there. Mogane said it's correct that there's an engine garage where they were.
And again, such a question would not surprise someone who's a subscriber here, because we did say that question it should be asked.
Yes.
That nothing differs except the events of what happened
Yes.
to Ntanzi. That's the
Yes.
only difference. Different things.
The only
different
thing that
thing.
he's disagreeing with is the assault.
Yes.
So Mngomezulu then said from that time up to 0023, the only thing you are disputing is that he was assaulted by the police. The only thing you can dispute now. Do you agree? And Mogane said, I disagree that the accused was assaulted. Mngomezulu said, so those hours, minutes that you were spending at that particular place, what were you doing with those officers? Mogane said, thank you for giving me an opportunity to explain.
Yeah.
Mngomezulu was requesting for the witness to confine specifically at Verwoerd Park and what he was doing at that particular spot. And the judge said no. Mngomezulu must let him explain and tell his story. Like he said, he was thanking you for an opportunity to explain. Let him explain. Knowing very well that he's going to tell a long story. Well, the story went like this. Mogane said that, as I explained in the morning while driving, I went into a petrol station to check my tires. As we passed the Glen Mall, I felt that the motor vehicle was not balanced. I proceeded, and when I joined the N3, I felt there was a smell of smoke, and the vehicle was losing its power. I forced the vehicle to proceed, and that's when I contacted Gininda and went into the filling station. When I got out of the vehicle, I noticed smoke, and on the dashboard it reflected an oil light. And then Jonathan and his crew arrived at the garage because we could wait there as we had the accused. When I opened the bonnet, I saw the oil was low. As I had oil at all times, I filled up the engine with oil and ignited the vehicle again. And I tried driving the vehicle again. The wheels were stiff. That is where I switched off for a while for the car to cool off. So the streets you are referring to are around the garage. Since it was night, we were unable to get assistance from mechanics in the police. I'm not sure if it was Jonathan or Buthelezi who called an independent mechanic. That mechanic said there is air that needs to be removed from the brakes. As you see the vehicle idling for some time, it was when we were trying to move the car around to see if it can proceed. We also bought food and didn't forget Ntanzi. No, we ate with him. When he says he was assaulted, he should explain, because I never saw that.
As much as Ntanzi should explain in this matter, you are also required to explain, sir.
So,
how is the process of using private or independent mechanics on a state car that has people who are designated to service these cars, as you were telling us about Lunamela accelerator because of the service and then all that. All of a sudden, you are changing. Now you are telling us that even an independent mechanic can fix a car,
that
the
belongs
state
to the
car.
state. And by the way, a lot of people are saying that's not possible. So.
And not just a car that belongs to the one that deals with intelligence of this country, because
Intelligence of the country.
you are giving it to someone who's independent. How did you pay for that person?
And how long did it take?
Is
for
there
the
proof
mechanic?
of the state paying the certain mechanic who's independent at that time?
How did they pay that?
How did they pay that?
And how long did it take for the mechanic to arrive? Because how many minutes were they stopping? Or less than an hour?
37 minutes.
37 minutes. So in 37 minutes, you called the mechanic. You first did a lot of work. You checked the oil. You checked this. You checked that. You did a lot of things. You were busy. And in those 37 minutes, not only did you check the oil, did you check the brakes? Did you see that the wheels are stiff? Did you see that the oil was low? Did you in 37 minutes you also got a meal, Sana? You ordered for how many people? In those 37 minutes you ordered food. Where you were at and you were stuck. And another thing also is that the mechanic, where did the mechanic come from? How long did it take the mechanic to leave their workstation and come to you? That's very interesting. In 37 minutes that all of these things took place in 37 minutes.
Well, I must not let it go. They must ask that question. You say, okay, we understand.
Where's the proof of payment for the mechanic?
Where's the proof of payment for mechanic?
Hi, guys. In 37 minutes, I see the assault and the torturing happening in 37 minutes. Then I see all of this hogwash that Mogane was giving today. This is a lot of things. This would take a good 4 hours. to attend to all of these issues. Maximum 4 hours. So I don't understand this long story in 37 minutes. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. I think at this point, Mogane thinks we are stupid. I don't know what is happening with that
Literally
man.
relying on a stand.
You know, he
Allegedly.
really thinks we are dumb. Like, he really thinks that,
Changing
the
the
country
tune on a stand.
is foolish. They will just buy whatever is being said there. And this doesn't add up. A lot of things happened in your version. You know, the way they are stretching it, or he stretched it, he should have reduced. Nyana, kancinci. Not put all these activities in one. Ordering food, waiting for the food. Kana, you still have to wait for the food. You know that. Or you eat cold food.
Considering it was
Lockdown,
as we said.
The time frames are not matching, because the 8 o'clock, that was the time where everything was.
And his answer is that not everyone was not allowed to. We are not talking about you. We know you are always free when we are jailed, wherever we are jailed.
Yes.
I mean,
the police valley, they were considered as essential workers.
But not McDonald person.
Not wimpy people.
Not wimpy people.
No. Wimpy people, by 8 o'clock, they were done.
That's where the question stems from.
They were not done, they'd be in trouble. And considering that you were so far away from your usual station of work where you are based, we cannot say that the wimpy people knew exactly who you guys were. Can we conclude that? Can we say, okay, they did you a favor? We can't.
You can't even give you ideas that they gave you a favor.
We cannot conclude
They did you
to
a
that.
favor. They didn't do you a favor. There's no
This
such
did
thing.
not happen.
Yeah.
This did not. It's simple terms.
As
It's not
Mngomezulu
happening.
would put the thing, he would submit that this is fabricated.
It's a lie. Come on now. Too many things were happening. So Mogane then said, as it was switching on and off, they were trying to check the car to see if it was in a better position to move. All of this happened in 37 minutes, you guys. Okay. And Mngomezulu said, remember, you said the state when asked about overspeeding, you said that the car was serviced and had power. Remember yesterday, that's what he said. He said that it was a freeway, and you step on the accelerator, your foot just becomes free. And Wanamela. You know, that was the description. He said the car had been serviced, and now all of a sudden, kiskorokoro push.
It just doesn't make sense.
No way. So Mogane said, remember earlier I checked the wheels at engine garage, referring to earlier in the morning when they made some stop at a different engine garage. According to what you are saying, the situation aggravated on the N3. This is Mngomezulu asking. And Mogane said, a vehicle is like a person. It has its own illnesses. Mr. Mngomezulu, it is possible that as you are standing here in court, you end up not feeling well, as you were not present on Friday and your doctor said you should come, and then you...
What an example, considering that Mngomezulu is sick. And he was sick and he didn't look okay. We don't know what happened. You think this is a good example?
No, he was mocking him. So you come and you become you become unwell in front of us, and that is what the vehicle did to us. So the audacity to compare Mngomezulu to a car. This car is the car we used a lot on cases we were investigating. Then Mngomezulu said you bought food and drinks. Mogane said food goes along with water and a cool drink. They digest it well in their stomach after eating. I know cops and a cool drink. They're like this. I'm sorry, guys. Mngomezulu then said, do you remember that on the 1st of June 2020 to the 1st of August 2020, we were on lockdown. It was level 3. It entailed that there was a curfew when people were not expected to move. Mogane said, yes, it was not everyone who was not allowed to move. And Mngomezulu said, I can tell you by your testimony, Buthelezi and Jonathan, you all denied being near a garage, but they only escorted you to Moroka police station. This is a total fabrication. And Mogane said, if I remember well, you asked me about Moroka. The day you are referring to is my first time that I'm testifying on it today. No, it's the very same day. The thing is, he started with the 18th that the state refused to start with. But it's still the 19th. You understand? Mngomezulu said the evidence of the 18th of June 2020 was brought to the attention of this court today. You had ample time to testify about this day, but let's just leave it for argument for the sake of progress. Mogane said at the time we talked about Moroka, you said he was assaulted. We entered here and here, and you never asked about that day. I just gave you that day. Mngomezulu said, that's why I say we will leave that for argument, because the record will then speak for itself.
He was vying.
Mngomezulu then said, didn't Tanzi have his watch that day? And Mogane said, I don't recall. I wouldn't have seen it. Well, the judge asked if it's allowed that a detained person must have a watch. And Mogane said, no, it would be kept in a bag at the charge office.
And that was actually not the purpose of the question.
No.
The purpose of the question, if you missed that one, was to sort of make this man aware that this man, the times that we see there, Ntanzi submitted those times, around those times. Where was he getting those times? I mean, could he be lying, even give the times and all these things, and you guys are collaborating it? That's basically why the question was asked. Not to say that is there a watch, the person had a watch. Maybe the judge thought that they were going to say, as you were busy assaulting him, the watch broke.
Oh, he thought they were going there.
Anticipating that question, and Gomez was not going there.
No, he said, let's leave the watch. This question is not even about that. Was there any source that the accused would know the time? And Mogane said if he would want to know the time, he would need to ask them, as he didn't have a watch. So Mogane said that in the car, there's also a watch display in the Fortuna. So that's possibly where accused number 2 would have seen the time. That's if he can recall the time exactly.
How do you see?
Then said, Mngomezulu then said 0025. This is 25 past midnight. You on the N3 freeway at Elandsfontein. At 0026 in Germiston. At 0028 you joined the N12. You passed Glen Eagles, Winchester and Ayrton, and 10 minutes thereafter the ignition was off. At 0048 you started to drive back to Pretoria, and at 0055 you were at Ben Nude. At 0057 there was a speed violation. Did it have a problem? And Mogane said, as I explained, the vehicle was looked at and I poured oil, and after midnight the car would have cooled down.
Look, I like how Mngomezulu is setting traps for this judge. You see such questions that he asked about the watch. It shows what the judge is doing. And then just send him a false direction. And then he goes there, right there. He doesn't even need to wait. And then he comes back alone. And he gets angry when that happens. Because what are you doing? What are you trying to do? Testify now.
Yeah,
You're a prosecutor, you are testifying.
Today was a witness.
They must send you to pillar to post. Just for you to be demonstrated properly that you are biased, allegedly.
Mngomezulu then said, so you were driving Mooifontein on N1 a minute to 1 a.m. You still driving. And at 0146, you arrived at Pretoria. 0151, the car was idling at Benfilion. And at 0219, the GPS was unlocked. 2:30, the ignition was off. That's when accused number 2 was booked in. Yo, this is like 2 days. From the 18th to the 20th, early hours of the morning.
And then this proves that the people who were diagnosing this man as being sober and nothing wrong with him,
Ready for a confession.
look happy. They were telling lies.
They were lying.
Gushuguti, this person didn't even bath. It's true.
Didn't even sleep.
Because he didn't sleep.
Even the food issue is sketchy at this point. Who's to say that they bought food for themselves and didn't even buy
The fact
food?
that they keep on emphasizing on buying food, and
Don't
that
believe
means they didn't buy food for him.
No, they did not. They must stop lying to us. But I can... So the 19th...
by all means, no
he's
matter
on
how...
the road.
No matter how you look at this evidence, it must not be admissible. It must not be admissible, because on the basis of this man not being rested, not being sober,
He must have felt like a zombie. By the time they made him make that confession, he was literally a zombie. He had lost his mind. I mean, how do you make it 2 days with no sleep? Gushona now and pants na phezulu.
basically
Pants
there was
is-
no consideration for this man's right.
But
None
Mogane
whatsoever.
bona were not getting tired. They are used to this. Or we should say. I don't know. But
They were looking
not
at the
getting
bigger
tired.
picture, maybe.
They were motivated. Driven for their careers. However, a person that you are planning on them making a confession, you want to put them in that state where they haven't slept for a couple of days. And as well, at 0455 on the 19th of June 2020, you booked him out again for court. At this time, did you have regard for human dignity when you book him out? I think this is for the third time, if I'm not mistaken. Do you still have regard to the right to human dignity in terms of the rights of the accused? He didn't sleep all these hours, comfortably or otherwise. He also did not bath, and Mogane may also be lying to us about buying him food. It's a possibility. Then Mogane said, as he was sleeping in the car, we were protecting his rights. We took care of those rights. No, you did not. Stop lying to the nation of South Africa. Because at this point, it's quite clear what was happening. It's quite obvious that he did not rest. You were driving with him from pillar to post, taking him here, booking, resting, busy.
No, he did not rest.
He did not rest. So on the post-lunch sitting, Mngomezulu was focusing on the investigations Mogane said he wanted to do in Alberton after leaving Carltonville. Mngomezulu was focusing on the events of the 19th of June. The day Ntanzi was transported to Moroka police station. Mngomezulu said, are you familiar with Soweto or Power Park? And Mogane said he doesn't know where it is. Mngomezulu then said at 6:14 you were driving on Chris Hani Road near Dlamini. At 6:14 you were on Koma Street. 6:22 the car was idling close to Makalima Street. And at 6:46 the car was switched off for an hour. Mogane said yes. Mngomezulu said when you booked accused number 2 out at 04:55, where was the escort in Pretoria? Mogane said they didn't have an escort in Pretoria. Mngomezulu asked why, and Mogane said EMPD said they couldn't come to Pretoria as they'd knocked off late the night before. They would meet us on the road. Mogane said that they sometimes would ask TRT or NIU for assistance if SWAT was not available. And this is
Now we are getting new part.
Information.
TRT.
And Mngomezulu even said it that you didn't speak about TRT before. You are only bringing it up now.
And why is there no statement from them? Because there's a statement for EMPD.
And the interesting thing is that accused number one, when they narrate how they got arrested, all these, according to their version, were there. TRT, he mentioned, was there. I don't know about NIU. But
So
TRT
everything that these
and
boys said,
SWAT.
now it's coming to play.
Mngomezulu took Mogane through the Ring Road and New Market route. At 14:42:01, the car was idle driving near Ring Road access idle. When you left for Slaughter's Court and joined N3 until you off-ramped, were you still escorted by the Metro Police under SWAT unit? And Mogane said no, they were not there. So you are no longer escorted at some stage. You parked near Ring Road without any escort. And Mogane said, like I explained before, I said we entered the mall and bought water and Simba chips. We didn't wait for a long time. Yes, that's the reason why I wanted to remind you of that, as saying Mngomezulu, because you even said that you bought water and Simba chips for accused number 2. What I want to put across to you is that there was water involved. Mogane said we also bought for ourselves those things we gave to him. We did not only buy for him. The reason why Mngomezulu says that he's asking is because the version of accused number 2 also deals with water that was poured in his body from the front part of his body. That's the reason why he introduced water on this evidence. And Mogane said, did he not tell you who poured water on him? And Mngomezulu said, this accused person played open cards before this honorable court. He told the court that you, Mogane, never participated in his assault. So therefore, he cannot include you with the act of pouring him with water. Mogane said, I'm still listening. And Mngomezulu said, and it is my instruction that on the same route you were driving after you off-ramped from the N3, that there is a dumping area on the right-hand side of that road, and when you are facing Alberton. And Mogane said, I'm listening. Funny how he's listening now.
It's all yes. I'm all yes.
Now he's listening. That's the saying, please, butcha mloera gago nnete. Tlole bolela maka. Ke kopa butche Bongani a go bolelle nnete. No, that has stopped. I'm listening. Ke theleditše. I'm listening.
Tell later.
Then at 14:42, it indicated access idle, Ring Road, 15:22, and the car was on access idling. Did you see that? Mngomezulu asked, and Mogane said that is correct. Mngomezulu said in between those times, it's a period of 40 minutes passed while you were there. And Mogane said, if you say so. Mngomezulu said that is the instruction of accused number 2, that is the time he was taken out of the motor vehicle next to a steel tanks where he was tortured and he was electrocuted with a device. It was that time. 40 minutes. That sounds more like it. 40 minutes. And Mogane said, if I remember well, Mr. Mngomezulu, you said we took him to steel pipes in Soweto before we took him to Rapadu. Before Gininda arrived and sat in his car. Are you saying it has now changed now? And now it's Alberton. You know what the funny thing is? It has never been Soweto. Like it has never been Soweto. I don't know where he picked up Soweto, but I kind of feel like at the beginning, after the lunch, he did ask him about Soweto.
No, I think it's...
He asked him about Soweto, and that kind of threw him off because now he forgot that we've done this before. I've cross-examined you before. And when I cross-examined you before, I never said anything about the accused being tortured in Soweto, but it has always been Alberton. I don't know what is happening with Mogane, but the lies are catching up now. Like,
Yeah,
really?
they are catching up.
So Mngomezulu then said, "Awa morena, o awa telecha hantle." No,
Hey,
sir.
then the judge was so angry.
You did not listen well. And Mogane said, I listened. Yeah, the judge got angry, Mr.
Can we please use English? These machines cannot recognize Venek. Yes. You always talk your tsotsetari here. It's okay.
Meneer, me vroeg krinya.
Do you recognize Afrikaans, ne?
Goeiemorgen, mevrou krinya. Ons is bly jy is hier in die kantoor. Do you remember? Baloyi, mevrou.
Angifuna abantu betleli judge leli liyalokhuza.
I'm busy, Baloyi, examining in Afrikaans. How can we forget that torture? I will never stop complaining about prosecutor examining a witness that we all wanted to hear, by the way, in Afrikaans. I have nothing against people that speak Afrikaans, but I just feel like if I'm not allowed to do my job in my home language, why are other people allowed to do their jobs in their home languages? We'd also like the same privilege. I want to be at a court and examine Gasoto.
Yeah, these machines recognize Afrikaans indeed.
You know, don't tell me that the machine doesn't record vernacular. It recorded Afrikaans. It did. Baloyi was allowed to cross-examine in Afrikaans. So the machine does record Afrikaans. So when you say vernacular, what do you mean? Our native languages. For us, the people of color. Is that what you're trying to say?
That's basically what he's trying to say.
So everybody in court, including Mngomezulu, laughed. I don't find that funny. I don't. But people were laughing. And I'm like, okay, it's a dry joke. It is what it is. Kill the tension. Mngomezulu insisted that the version has not changed. Mngomezulu said that my version initially, and it will stand as the first time, accused was next to a dumping area. It was not on a route towards Alberton. That was the first time, next to 2 silver tanks. And the second time was when he was at Orlando, next to a dumping area where there were ATMs that were no longer in use. And Mogane said, I'm listening. At 1548 Old Potchefstroom Road in Soweto, Deep Kloof Zone 6, it also showed GPS unlocked. Mngomezulu earlier asked if an expert was needed to explain what GPS unlocked meant, and Mogane said,
GPS unlocked could be referring to unlocking capabilities, of that GPS. This usually involves enabling location services in the device or settings. That's basically what it would mean. And then also keeping in mind that some applications may require permission to access GPS data. But let us hear what.
So what does that mean? Is it like a button that you press, or it's the system itself unlocking a new map of where
yes, maybe where they were, it was not recognizable.
And
yes, then it just enhanced itself to say,
okay,
this is where we are.
All right, makes sense. Yeah, in simple English, please. Mngomezulu said at about 3:30, that's when Mogane and Mabena met with Colonel Rapadu at Chris Hani Baragwanath Hospital. Mogane said it's getting confusing now. Initially, you said we met Colonel Rapadu in the morning, and now you say we met him again in the afternoon. Mngomezulu approached accused, and Mngomezulu insisted when he came back that the accused says that they only met Rapadu in the afternoon and not in the morning. And Mogane said they arrived at Colonel Rapadu in Moroka in the morning and then drove to Vosloorus thereafter and never met Rapadu again in the afternoon. Well, how do you explain the stopping, this 40-minute stop close to Chris Hani Baragwanath? Okay, what's the story behind that, Mogane? What is the story there? So I don't know what the accused said in his confession. This is Mogane, but I know that it was in the morning at 7 a.m. Mogane previously told the court from Vosloorus they went past Moroka before going to Phokeng. So the question is, if he sticks to his version and the Mabena and the whole key situation and whatnot, how does he explain that the location is saying that they stopped near Baragwanath? Remember yesterday we did point it out that the Ring Road and the New Market people are saying that's closer to Baragwanath.
It is.
50 minutes yonke. What's the story there, Mogane? Then Mngomezulu said from 1616 and for almost 2 hours, the time when Mogane said they were inside Moroka police station. Remember, that was his version. He said they were inside Moroka police station and they were waiting for the keys, all of that jazz. They were waiting for the keys. Mabena had forgotten the keys and the memory stick, and now they were waiting. They waited for a whole 2 hours. They ended up waiting for a whole 2 hours.
Yes.
So the AVL on the other hand is saying for the 50 minutes they were near Baragwanath. So that 50 minutes is what Mogane doesn't want to explain.
No.
So that's the time that was assaulted and Gininda arrived in a white BMW. Mogane denied this, of course, and Mogane said Danzi was not booked in when they arrived at Moroka and cannot comment on accused number 1 since he was not there. So Mngomezulu said, if you don't have the records of accused number 2 in Moroka police station, is it not easy for one to see that that is where you were? Well, how is he going to back up that they were at Moroka police station those entire 2 hours? Because the GPS is saying otherwise. How is he going to back it up? Because how is he going to back it up, honestly?
He's forcing it.
And they were even asking about the OB, the occurrence book. Where's the entry that you booked in Danzi? And he said they never booked him in. So they were chilling. He was chilling again in the car with them for a whole 2 hours.
And judging from Danzi's memory of how he remembers things, looking at he never slept in that car.
No. How can you sleep?
We can all agree.
But literally...
Because he could have missed some of the boards. You know, when you sleep in a car, you wake up somewhere, you forget things. And
so
then
he
you have
saw the
distance.
boards, the ALBERTON board was written. You know, he was marking things. So that's not the description of a person who slept. And so far, the GPS is supporting his version. And this version he told before he even saw the GPS records. Isn't that interesting, you guys?
It is.
It's very interesting.
And would you sleep if you kind of have a
No.
feeling that this is your last day?
No, you won't
Just
fall asleep.
throwing that in. So
No. You don't know these people. Literally, in my opinion, he felt kidnapped.
And you are hearing phone calls in the same car. People are talking about you.
You won't sleep. Sleep where? Sleep how? And did you see how tall he is? How is he gonna sleep in that car and be comfortable with handcuffs? Musanukanga ngabantu Mogane. Muyekelani. This is not funny anymore. So Mogane then said, let me respond like this. Okay? So Mngomezulu had asked him, if you don't have records for accused number 2 in Moroka police station, is it not easy for one to see that that is where you were? Because where's the occurrence book? Where's the entry to prove that you were at Moroka police station? And Mogane said, let me respond like this. Since he gave a confession and he states such details, I have not seen it, but I had if I had, I would give you that information. Mngomezulu said he is done with cross-examining for accused number 2's details of version. And what he's left with is the version of accused number 1. He's waiting for the logbooks of the accused number 1, the AVL logbook, the trip and the car that took the journey with accused number 1 to the pointings out. And the dates was the 5th, the 22nd, and the 24th, the one that they were talking about earlier in the morning. Mngomezulu said that he needs that to cross-examine for accused number 1. And Baloyi said that the witness was on standby. It's Mogola who's going to be testifying
The judge is
next.
blunting there. The judge is sort of brushing that thing off because it's not working for them, right? In case it doesn't work out. Why would it not work out? Why can't we get the logbook?
For me, I wouldn't encourage starting with a new witness if it must adjourn
Because it kills the
early, it must
momentum.
adjourn early.
Yes.
If it must, we've seen it before where they would recall a witness like Musia, for example. By the time he comes back, the momentum is gone.
It's gone.
And you think that this is kind of done deliberately. So already you are feeling overwhelmed. So now you have how many witnesses on standby that are still going to be recalled, and you're going to add another one. Mogola might possibly fall again in that list where she will also need to be recalled because she was a very crucial a witness as well.
Why is the judge even jumping the gun here?
No, they should refuse. They should say, where are the logbooks? We can't continue without them.
The dockets are not here. Dockets are not there. The same person that we are looking for logbook from is now, same person that we are looking dockets from is now the same person that we should trust that is going to bring logbooks.
And the dockets. The very same person who they need dockets, they are relying that they bring
Is
those
not
dockets.
available when they need such.
It's silence.
But Baloyi in court is like the IO. The IO is the same person, isn't it?
It is the same person, the IO.
Manje,
It's the same person. It's Brigadier.
he's able to reach him now.
Yeah. So where the dockets, this logbook situation, I don't have a good feeling about it. And if they're going to force in for Mogola to come in, no. Mogola can go write the exams. Okay? She can come back after her exams. Right
Because
now,
Mogola
we
is
are
not
dealing
gonna.
with
Because now
Mogane.
they are creating an environment where you would feel like it's gonna be a hush situation. No.
No.
Mogola must sit there. Mogola is part of
Can
the
wait.
people. Part of the people that are gonna stand there like the
Yes.
same this guy is
Like
standing.
Mogane.
Mogane. So those exams are gonna be. You cannot even use those exams.
No, she can go right.
Yes.
She can go right. It's not a problem. But
So that it doesn't fail.
They must finish with Mogane. They must finish. This is a trial within a trial. It's not even a main trial. So they can finish. They just need to hand in the dockets. And if it means adjourn every day until those dockets come, then so be it.
Exactly.
Then so be it. Because this thing kills the momentum. It does. By the time that you come and testify, they are overwhelmed by Mogola, they are overwhelmed by Brigadier Gininda's testimony. Everything is overwhelming. So no, I don't advocate for it. Mogane must finish properly. He has had a lot to say.
With his lies,
Yes.
allegedly.
He must come, he must finish strong, like how he started. Calling people liars, calling Tanzi a liar, right? So he must finish his testimony. We are dead serious about that. So, yeah, guys, I guess now the lines are open. You can call in. I see that some of you all have been calling. I apologize for not picking up. It's okay.
Have they
now
been
call
calling?
You can now call in and tell us what you think or what you thought of today's
yeah.
proceedings. So,
Right. I don't think these people think we are fools. They're just showing us the middle finger as South Africans that our police and justice system is corrupt and captured, and they do not give a damn. We are on our own. I hope SA people see this, because it started like this in Zim. It started like this in Zim. And in Zim today, justice and police system favors the rich and connected. Sometimes I think Baloyi delaying this whole thing for Guinea to make all corrections, and allegedly Danzi's state of mind was not right. They literally pushed him to a point where he was temporarily insane. The system that was the best used by the old government against the black man.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's just that I'm the host. Sometimes there are some things I can't say. But yes, whatever that is exactly what happened.
I cannot see my comment. Yeah, it does happen, eh? What is happening? It does happen sometimes when you comment and then it does not show. If you are subscribed, just refresh maybe your catches and then.
Is it on the live chat?
Yes.
Are they subscribed? If they are subscribed, okay.
Yeah, just check if you are still subscribed, and then also maybe refresh your whole thing. Not your just move out of this life and go back again and try to comment.
And see what happens. And if not, then you'll have to give us your account. I don't know. Maybe you could be blocked. I don't know. But I don't block people. We don't.
No, we don't block people.
No, we don't. And we'd advise moderators and CK.
Mzansi, hello.
Guys, don't block people. Put them on a timeout.
Oh, sorry, man. Sorry. Let's hear what you are saying. Hello?
Hello?
Hey, how are you?
Hello?
Hi.
Is this Mzansi reality?
Yes.
It is Mzansi reality. How are you?
I'm okay, and you?
Not bad.
Mr. Anonymous,
Yes, sir.
can I ask you a question, my brother?
Do.
This case, as it's unfolding today, these cops, as we see them as citizens, testifying on national television, what are they saying to us?
Exactly what you are seeing right now.
Now, I just want to understand something differently because, I see it's happening. It took your guys' channel for me to try and look at our law enforcement agencies differently and our judiciary differently. So now when I see the cops testifying like this, I ask myself, nami ngumuntu. Ngubani mina kule lizwe lethu? Abantwana bami nabo bayaphila njani kule lizwe elinje? If the cops, the people who are supposed to be trusting, are the ones who are treating us like this, untanzi vele bamshayile. Bangayiphika the way bafuna ukuyiphika ngakhona, not judge rat angafuna ukuyilahlela le bathi akana evidence or what asinama video camera ukuthi bamshayile egarage or close to the garage, mara bamshayile lo mfana loya. Uyambona naye ngedimina yakhe lapha ahleli khona lapha. Uyambona lo mfana ukuthi ulimazile lo mfana. But how do we recorrect that as a society? Sometimes we need to look deeper within our souls. Singayibuki imithetho sinike abelungu. Abanye bethu besikakazali la mithetho mayivelwa. Uratha usitshelile ukuthi le mithetho ibuya ngabo 19 mina bengakazalwanga mina. But when we see these things happening in our time, how do we recorrect this? Because iyasilimaza lento le. That's all I wanted to say, guys, and I love you. I love your channel. Keep up the good work that you are doing, and we'll always support you. I love you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think that's the big question for all of us as South Africans, that how is this law? How is it? Like, how were they so comfortable with arresting a person and they had nothing on them, and then they have cases now after arresting that person, and they have, like, how? Is it because he's poor or regarded as a poor person? I think that's what troubles me, that without money. Because if he had money, he was going to call a lawyer and none of this would be happening to him today.
No.
None of this would be happening to him today. You would have summoned and called a lawyer. But what if you do have the means to get a lawyer, but you are blocked and not given access to even contact the lawyer? And then they come and boldly lie and say, we read them their rights. And we explained them and made sure that they understand and understood those rights.
We need cameras. We need judicial.
Body cams. And we need some of these laws to kind of change and adjust to the society that we are in today. We are no longer in the times of pre-1994. Some of these laws were made then. They need to be adjusted for a black society. They need to be adjusted because back then, people of color were treated very different.
Exactly as you've seen, Tanz.
So they need to change, some of them. The ones that are good can be kept, but the other ones, in fact, they needed to be readjusted during 1994. I don't know why that conversation was never had.
Zanzi, hello.
Yeah, Mr. Anonymous.
Hi, sir, how are you?
Fine, and you?
Not bad.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
The cases unfolding in that direction, Mr. Anonymous.
Sorry, we couldn't hear you there.
Oh, you can't hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, we can hear you now.
Now we can hear. Try.
Yeah, I say we see now the case is unfolding at another direction now, Mr.
Mm.
You know, there was a judgment which was delivered in 1907. However, it was a racial judgment, Mr. Anonymous.
Mm.
But the Chief Justice, when he delivered that judgment at that time, he said his inferences was evidence tendered by white witnesses are far more reliable than evidence tendered by black witnesses. As much as we can say it was white and then it was racial, but if you apply that judgment to this case, you will see that our black witnesses, they don't tell the truth. They don't tell the truth because all these black police officers, all the peace officers, they were not telling the truth. And if you look at the white witnesses that came into this case and tendered the evidence, they were far more better than the black witnesses. For example, Kronje, she did mention the irregularities. That this person said he did not bath. He wanted to bath. And when you look at the HR manager, he did come and say, no. My statement that I gave at that particular time was incorrect. The correct statement is that this person applied for leave. But when you look at the evidence from our black witnesses.
But are we going to reduce it to black witnesses, or this is a police thing? Because so far I've never seen an outsider who's a black witness other than that.
The people in
that
the house.
Yes, people who are
The
working
people
for
from
the
the
same
house.
system. So if the system protects the system, so would you reduce that into blackness?
We can also remember Buthelezi, right? Ntanzi's friend who made a U-turn.
Yeah, he made a U-turn. I think Ntanzi, it is one person who's an outsider who at some point we're hearing a lot of things, as you can see on Facebook, about whatever that is happening. But all I'm saying is that this is a police thing.
Are you still
there?
Are you still with us? Hello? What happened?
It ran away. Someone called here. Remember that person who said they will always protect each other?
Yes.
Nzansi, hello.
Someone said that, I remember.
Nzansi, hello.
They did.
Hello.
Hi, how are
Hello.
you? Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you? How are you, Mr. Anonymous?
Not bad, sir.
Fine. Can you hear me?
Yes, we definitely can.
Yes. I'll see you Medimela.
Hi, okay.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm Cosmos somewhere in the Free State. Ne? I've got something that I want to ask Mr. Anonymous there. Ne?
All right.
You know, Mr. Anonymous, ever since 1994, I have never heard of a record of people or names of people who died because of torture. I think maybe the Defense Council should ask Mogane to provide names or the number of people who died after they were tortured. Because Mogane is stressing that if this guy was tortured together with his judge, why is this guy available? Because there is no record of people who died because of torture. As far as I know, Anonymous. Is there such a record in South Africa?
No, if it's there, it's minimal. Because
There is
no
no
one
such
would
record.
like to admit to such thing is.
Yeah, I just wanted to put that point, Mr. Anonymous. Thanks very much, guys. You are doing a good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Nzansi, hello.
Mr. Anonymous,
Yes, sir.
your previous caller is not a
Yes?
Yes.
your previous caller who was talking about if there was white people involved. I don't want to racialize policing, but I want to say let's look at all the cops who have been testifying in this case and who have been talking nonsense. And let's try and look at their color. And then nathi esabantu abamnyama siyabazi abantu bethu, siyabazi amaphoyisa bethu. Siyazi ukuthi nathi bakunenkinga siyobalekela kuphi emaphoyiseni. Now that's where this thing of us corrupting law enforcement also comes in part. Lento leyo. So that caller, he's not wrong at all.
No, he's
so
not.
now you're the case layer Senzo Meyiwa. I can guarantee you now, if there was no Kininja, but there was some Burki guy from Van Veiws who was the lead investigator, but that's all I wanted to say. I love you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
We accept these submissions.
Yeah, we accept
I
it.
do accept them.
But with regards to
What is currently happening now?
police in that case, in that court, not necessarily every.
Or should we say it is cheaper to buy a person of no color,
Of
color than a person of, because that would be more expensive.
Because even the doctor, with regards to the wound and the analysis that he made, he was extremely honest. Remember the doctor
Yes.
who did a post-mortem? He was extremely honest. And with his testimony, I got even more conviction.
Zanzi, hello.
Hi, Mr. Anonymous. Say I got cut off, man. I think it's load shedding.
Yes, sorry, man. We thought maybe.
Yeah, I got cut off. Yes, Mr. Anonymous. I did not hear you because I made an instance
you made a
about the
submission.
Chief Justice.
Yes.
No, I was just giving an example, Mr. Anonymous. I'm not concluding that all black witnesses, they don't
Yes.
tender
Yeah.
evidence which are reliable. I'm just applying that judgment,
Yes.
particularly to this
police.
case.
That judgment, it cannot be far from the truth.
Yes. And secondly, Mr. Anonymous, I think now Mr. Baloyi is delaying for the special plea, which will be the section 174 to acquit these people. Now he wants to bring witnesses which are expect at this stage after Mogane testify on this AVL.
As an expert.
As he testified as an expert, and Baloyi was supposed to lay foundation by using expert so that everybody understand this AVL, to interpret the AVL. When you are driving near, what does it mean? Nobody knows what does it mean. So now the expert will be coming today
to rubbish that thing.
But that is not how we apply the law.
No.
Mngomezulu stated it categorically that no, the expert must lay the foundation so that we understand the document.
They debunked him.
They didn't listen to him. They actually made this guy become an expert.
And the opposing affidavit from Mngomezulu was not because it did not want to present evidence from the AVL. It was because of time.
Yes.
He felt that this is a complete waste of time.
Yes.
He was just waiting for Brigadier Genina to come in so that he can make a special plea after that. So he felt that he will be dragged if AVL is introduced.
Yeah.
And now we see a complete. The evidence is incomplete. So, which is, I'm waiting for the closing argument. I just want to hear Baloyi whether he will include the AVL evidence in his closing argument, because it's incomplete.
It's incomplete, yes.
It's very, very incomplete. You can't include it on your closing argument.
It will be interesting to hear what will happen.
It will be very interesting. It will be very interesting. And they are making false claim again that a sub vehicle has no AVL. There's no such.
Yeah,
There's no such.
We're in a movie. Things keep changing. So, because it didn't support their theory, now they know Baloyi is not even sure actually, but he has kind of concluded that there's
no AVL.
It's like, I don't want any AVL. No, we hear you.
Remember, I asked you guys, I asked them, like, isn't this judge setting up the state for a mess? And
yeah, and it is a mess.
how is Baloyi going to come out of this?
It is a very big mess. It is a very big mess. It is a very big mess what they did with this evidence.
Yeah, it is a mess. I think he was even angry.
It's a very big mess. And then Baloyi thought when defense opposed the AVL, it wasn't a disadvantage for them. So he thought maybe yes, I got them now.
They are
he
backs
did
against
not.
the
He
wall.
miscalculated the AVL.
Yeah, he did.
So now it's a completeness.
It's a mess.
It's a completeness.
No, thank you, man. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Anonymous.
Thank you.
To think that the judge helped him. And I had doubts. I'm like, why are you pushing this AVL thingy?
Every time they feel like they find something. Let's like the video, guys, and subscribe. Those who are not subscribed, like the video. And if you're not able to comment, it's because you're not a subscriber. Mngomezulu.
Mr. Anonymous.
Yes, how are you?
Ngiyaphila uJab. Imithetho ngiyayibona, imithetho yala eSouth Africa, yonke into ngiyayibona. But I want to ask actually a question to Usis email. And I hope you guys can give me this opportunity.
How?
It's not us.
How about
The network is refusing
I
to
was
give you
ready. Please
to give
call
you
back.
to give you an opportunity. Network is like no. We are saying yes.
The network is like, no.
Yeah.
Let me see how bad it is.
Let's take this on WhatsApp. Mzansi, hello.
But mine is fine.
Mzansi, hello.
Hello.
Hi, sir. How are you?
Hi.
I'm okay. Yourselves, how are you?
We're good.
Not bad.
Okay. Just a few points. I don't know if you guys realized what Baloyi tried to do today when he was trying to clarify what Mngomezulu was asking about if Jonathan and his friends were there when the witness was saying that they had arrived. And the witness didn't get the hint that he must say no, they were not there.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
And I don't know how legal that is. You know, the judge should have said, no, you can't say that's the witness. I don't think that was right. You know, that for me was not right. And the witness didn't pick it up. That's the first part I want to mention.
The witness is not that, you know, the level of it will be difficult. I mean, this is law versus someone who's just supposed to apprehend people and put them there. Other than that, that's it.
It's amazing how the judge overlooks these things. He's been doing this. And he just overlooks them like it's not happening.
Yeah, you are right. I saw that. Good pickup.
Yeah. The second more important thing I need to mention, a couple of callers have mentioned the racial aspect. Ne? I would like to mention that they sound like elderly people. And I would like to remind those elderly people that racism is as old as time. And Sinamanda Mnyama, we've been brainwashed into thinking that we are second-rate citizens. We forget that most racism and most stereotypes have been ingrained into us, and now we think that we are these thugs, we are these criminals. But if you look at all the fraud and all the crime in the world, it comes from the other races. You know, if you look at all the major corruption, look at Britain. How much money in Britain is from the, if you look at like the monarch and all those countries, if you look back to slavery and all those things, if you look back at the financial world crisis and all those things, they don't come from us. So if you look at corruption and all those things, you mustn't always think of us being corrupt and not doing the right things and us lying. Even if you look at our country, like people faking their debts and running away with billions, leaving the country, it's not us. So we mustn't always think of ourselves as being the most corrupt. Just because you are around only black people, now you're thinking we are the only ones corrupt. No, they are also corrupt. They're human beings. It doesn't mean because you're black, you're going to be just corrupt immediately. Yeah.
We hear your submission. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
You've said it all. You've said it all. I understand. I hear you. and yeah.
We hear your submission.
Even the laws, they're not ours. These are laws.
Zanzi, hello? Zanzi, hello? Zanzi, hello? Zanzi, hello?
Hello?
Hi, sir, how are you?
Hello?
Hi, sir, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
We're good.
I'm good. This is the podcast, eh?
Yes.
Yeah, just a quick joke before we start. Do you know how to travel from Primrose to Pukeng?
You are reminding me
Okay.
of Mr. Finka.
Okay, you know, as far as this case is going, I'm very, very, very happy because, Ntanzi has been very, very brilliant in terms of recognizing all the events and all that. He's been spot on. He's been spot on because if you look at the guy today, his voice was a little bit low. Look at when he was cross-examined the other day, his voice was very loud. Why can't you ask Ntanzi to tell the truth? And then today he was like, yes, I'm listening. And then all that. I don't know why they did it, why they introduced the AVL, because it's not helping them any further.
It is giving the proof that was not there of Ntanzi.
Yes. Actually.
Yes.
It has just did that.
Yeah.
Great proof.
Yeah. It's not helping them. I can't wait tomorrow to hear what's going to happen, because you see, there's still some other days where they are missing the AVL records, where they're saying another car was used.
And also anticipating that it might not have AVL. They must they must give a logbook for that car so that can be verified.
Of course. I mean, like there's a lot of loopholes, man, from this witness. Even the dockers, he is not supplying adequate information to the but which is not good. And as far as the AVL is concerned, I think it's gonna give a lot of problems, especially for Kininda, who's gonna come and testify. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of problems, and a lot of questions are going to be posed to him.
Yeah, I hear you, but I mean, I think the person you're talking about is very far from coming. Very far.
It's possible.
Very far, or might not even come down. Yeah.
But he has to come in trial within a trial. I think he has to.
I never know. You say the judge can come with a certain what is this
decision?
No, come with a certain case that happened in 1980 something.
Hey.
Where the investigating officer was not part of the trial within trial. And how do you counter that?
Yeah, but
everyone locked down,
No, like serious. Well, have you started reading the cases where you must start Googling cases where investigating officer was not part of a trial within trial?
Yes, but Rata can do that.
Hey, that's what I'm trying to tell you. So you're waiting.
But I'll tell you one thing. I'm seeing a lot of people, they are saying this judge is biased, but you need to understand. I think that guy is very clever. He listens very carefully. He's a good listener. That guy, that man right there.
Good listener. God, I hope I see some Mngomezulu today because he went left.
Obviously, you can't listen to everything. That's why it's an open court. Like that's why.
But why is he always? Why is he always reciting things that are incorrect?
Yeah, I think he thinks he knows everything.
That's a problem. If you think you know everything, you hardly listen. So that means he's not a good listener.
But I trust him. I don't think I'm not thinking that he will disappoint us. Remember, I think he just want to get the full evidence.
Remember, he was handpicked.
Yeah, is it?
Yes.
He's from retirement. What do you think? Isn't that handpicking someone?
Taking them from retirement and say,
As they come
preside over this case.
Yeah, doesn't have any cases. That's why this case is moving like this. There's no breaks because it doesn't have anything.
Also, he was hired specifically to he was brought from retirement specifically.
Yes, they went to him and they said, Chief, we are on our payroll. We need you to do this job.
Oh, he's part of the mafia.
No, the judge is in South Africa, judges are paid until you never stop getting paid. That's why they can go back and fetch you.
Oh, and fetch you. Oh, okay, I see. Yes. That's why they are very old, all of them.
You can be chilling at home. You are like a soldier. You never switch off like a car. You're always on idling mode.
You're still
you're always on excess mode. Excess idling.
Yes. Excess idling. You can be called anytime.
You can be called anytime, just like those guys. What Jonathan?
Yes.
So those guys, they work overtime. Those guys, they are always there, everywhere. They are always available. There is not, you know. The funny thing about this case, you can never hear about a guy that maybe knows anything that works, or maybe that lives across the street, or the guy that works. It's always the police.
It's only police testifying.
You understand? And people that were in the house. How is that relevant?
Not even people. Quarter of people who were in the house.
I mean, even. I mean, you're transporting. You are doing an investigation. Let's be honest. And then you've got a problem with the car. You are a big guy. How can you not make a phone call and say, guys, can you bring me up a car? And then you leave one or two police guys looking after the vehicle. It's a state vehicle. I mean, it's not your car. You can't sit with the state vehicle for more than 2 hours because it's got a breakdown. I mean, how many cars patrol their police cars? Why can't you say, okay, let's just put this guy in the cells. In the meantime, we will see him tomorrow. I mean, what's the rush?
Yeah, no, we hear you. Let's give a few before we leave. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, guys.
Cool. Right. Let's see. Hi, Emily Ngiyavumo. Judge Judy. Clown. Yamona Jutata. Amasite is taking sides. Yeah. Allegedly, everything said here is actually the views of people who are listeners. Mzansi, hello.
Mr. Anonymous, how are you?
Yes, how are you?
I'm okay. You know, there's something I wanted to say, and it's something I wanted to ask Usis Emily, but I got cut off earlier on.
Welcome back.
All right, we come back.
You are a Zulu man, you, Mr. Anonymous.
Yes.
Kelly Kumalo is a Zulu woman. Now here's this issue.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask Umama Lapa Studio. Kelly, where she's sitting today, she's watching the trial. Baloy has no interest in calling her, and then her baby daddy got shot and killed in front of her. Why is it that Kelly has no interest at all in coming out? Akhulume yena ukuthi no mina kwenzakala sona and asamazi bonke yena nosisi wakhe bathanda publicity. Why is it that Kelly has never had an interest at all in trying to say to the state, ukuthi I'm going to try and solve the story of how this soccer hero, this national hero, got murdered now as a public icon? Why Kelly adlalela ngaphandle? How does that make sense? I'm trying to ask myself how that makes sense, even though I know this whole thing happened at her mother's house, and for Senzo to be there was because of Kelly. Had it not been for Kelly, Senzo would have never been at Kelly at Makumalo's Plaza. It would have never happened. But for some reason, we are still in 2023, and Kelly is playing so far away from all of this. But on social media, ambona yenza yonke le mihlolo yakhe, promoter le mihlolo yakhe njengalo dadu wakhe lo. Does that make sense, guys? Like, as abantu abamnyama, how we grew up, how we were raised, when you look at it, let's leave the law aside. Does that make sense? Ngesintu sikhulise njani bayenzani kanti labo bakakhumalo la?
Well, a good question.
I've been asking ourselves that question for a very long time.
But look, I'm starting not to blame.
My network is terrible. I'll listen on the TV.
Okay, cool. Look, I'm starting not to blame them. By the looks of how things are happening in that court, I don't think even if they were to come and say, we want to say something, they would be accepted there.
No, I can understand now. What I don't understand is from 26 October 2014. Havana that part.
26th of October 2014. You should think of 375.
Like, Havana that part is the part that baffles me. To this day, I'm still like, when Steenkamp in the documentary, Miss Steenkamp was saying that she was slouching, sitting like this, not interested. And they're like, what about the baby? What about the son? He saw something. Can he help us? And she's like, no. Like those little things that for me, I'm like, you're the man you loved. You say you loved this man.
Look, you're right. She needs to take some blame where, like for example, where you are supposed to call the police straight, and you didn't. They decided to call the other way around.
Go to Senzo's family, at least, and tell them what happened. But we will never understand why.
Guys, let's click the like button.
But now, looking at what is happening, now I can understand. But this started from 2018, right? 2019-ish. I can understand
Mzansi,
why.
hello.
But
Good morning,
2014.
Mr. Anonymous.
Good morning. Morning.
Morning.
How are you today?
Not bad. We are good.
Very well, thank you. Mina, my question is getting above the law, because now, as it is said that the docket is with him, and then the guy doesn't say Geninda is going to bring it. He's saying Geninda will explain when he comes. And it ends there, meaning it's not going to come. There's no docket that is going to come. It's the explanation that we're expecting.
That's a good pick up.
One other thing. When did they decide now to call an expert?
Because it didn't go as planned. They wanted the hogwash, and they were hogwashed.
By the way this case is going, it gives me it's like the judge was handpicked and told that you go, uyovalela labafana laba, make sure that uyabavalela, because irrespective of what's happening, umile nje yena ukuthi they are guilty, udecidile nje ukuthi maphuma laphayana, those guys must be in jail. He's not moving from that.
You think so?
And now this trial within a trial, I don't think it's going to end this year, because now as umfana kagogo ebona yena ukuthi cha ilokuzana the boat sink. Uzoloko ebiza abanye. It's not going to be easy for him just to give up. So no judge ke uyamyekela ukuthi aloku abiza abantu abangekho ku list abantu aba-10 uzobhayisa till kuze kuvalwe i-court kube next year. So it's just frustrating, but I'm so happy that it shows ukuthi uNtanzi kulabantu bebenama doubts. It shows ukuthi uNtanzi was right.
Yeah.
Because now a car that was cruising, because if we are service, all of a sudden manje sekumele amasondo arongo sekumele kutshintshe oil. Ishintsha kanjani oil imoto ebuya ku service? And then just after that those hours we spent laphayana, na imoto seyakhuza futhi hayi abaletha ama receipt. Abaletha ama receipt ngoba this mechanic ufike kanjani laphayana, because it bekuyilokuzana.
Don't open that can of worm. You see, if you ask for a mechanic to come, Baloyi will bring even a person who was working with mechanic. So, be careful of what you wish for. Next thing you'll be having a petrol attendant there who was there on the garage. So leave it like that. I think even Mngomezulu let it slide on purpose. He was like, it's okay. I'm not gonna question this, because next thing I'll be questioning a mechanic about things that happen.
Ufanele gogo uhlangene nematch yakhe la kuMngomezulu.
Yeah.
Kade edlala ngalabafana abanye. Now hayi cha. Uzima.
Hlangene nematch.
Hayi kunzima. Uyabona nje noma ikhemera efika lapha kunye nje ubuso bakhe nje. Azange ngibone umuntu lenhliziyo efana nobuso bakhe kanje.
Akamhlimpela sengisho ke nje ukuthi ke impela yena ngazi ukuthi bamfaka i-castor oil lezi zinto.
Ngiyabonga bakithi umsebenzi wenzayo umhle kakhulu, yes.
Bonga thina.
Mina ngicela nisitshele vele ukuthi sidonate kanjani phela thina we are old school, asazi lutho.
Okay, akunankinga sakutshela.
Siyabonga.
Right. Emily, I think it's important that we take adjournment here.
Yeah,
because we need to rest.
Long adjournment.
Next thing tomorrow, here comes this exam person. Mzansi, hello. Mzansi, hello.
Hi, Anu. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Ngiyaphila. Kunjani Emily?
Ngiyaphila unjani?
Hello.
Hi. Can you not hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I'm okay. How are you?
Iphoyisa elikhulu cha. Mina sengiyalithanda manje. Iphoyisa elikhulu livuma yonke into ke manje. I wonder uRatha uyabona na. Ngoba iphoyisa elikhulu liyavuma liphika nje ukuthi bashaya uNtanzi. Thina ke ngesizulu emeli sithi icala umphikwa. Angeke livume.
Angeke.
Manje enye into futhi kubufakazi bakhe bokuqala akazange wathi imoto yakhe yabafela. Angisho kwakumele ukuthi aveze ukuthi hayi angisho uNtanzi ukuthi same garage bawathenga lowo manzi 5 liter bamthela orgazi bathenga 5 liter or bathenga amanzi angakanani. Kepha yena angisho bekumele ukuthi abuveze athi yes same garage imoto beyisihlupha.
Yes.
Ebufakazini bakhe bokuqala. Manje seyifenini imoto yavutha amasondo imoto ibekuthiwa isevisiwe hayi baganga ngathi laba abantu leli phoyisa elikhulu nje mina sengiyalithanda iphoyisa elikhulu impela selithobile manje into esengikhulekela nje ukuthi namhlanje balifake futhi liqedele bangalibreak ngoba ukulibeka kwaye esayidini mhlawumbe liyophinde futhi ubaloye alitshele ezinye izinto ezintsha. Uyabona nje bengathi lo ozayo namuhla bathe ukhona bangamngenisi aqedelele kuqala yena. Kodwa ke asazi ukuthi kuzokwenzekani. Hayi siyabonga shemo umsebenzi wenu muhle ningaphezi noma seliphelile licala abantu ngiqhubeke. Hey omunye ukhola uke wakhuluma ngokuthi izwe siphila kulo nabantwana bethu kuyathusa. Really kuyathusa because into ezenzeka ema-court asizazi uzazi ngoba mhlawumbe usuke wangena. Mr. Anonymous mangakutshela ukuthi a simple thing i-protection order umuntu ekwenzele yona can take a year ingahlali mawungaziwa ukuthi ubani or ungenamali ungenaloya. Sizibonile izinto ezinjalo ezibuhlungu ezenzeke ebantwini but ngokuthi abantu abazazi bonke engathi ngingaqhubeka nkosami lo msebenzi ukuthi asisalali. Kodwa futhi enye into engicabangayo uyazi makunje thina kukhona lapho esiconsulta khona sinika the higher power. uNkulunkulu uzobadida nje bonke. Nobe kakhulume ugcina indaba intshela avele nje uzozibhedela yena. Hayi siyabonga umsebenzi omuhle niwenzayo.
Siyabonga kakhulu nathi.
Ningaphezi siyabonga nilale kahle.
Siyabonga.
Right. Just before we leave, Emily. You see, tomorrow, I'm hoping that if this guy continues, Msholo does not, because I hear people saying that Msholo will finish this person. There's nothing that is not done on that person already. So be careful of opening certain things that can come back to bite you. In this case, this is a sensitive one, this one. So you have to trade carefully. This is not just a mere...
I'm sure the judge is waiting.
The judge is waiting for that.
Yeah.
Judge is waiting for that.
Mngomezulu closed it up.
Once you reverse something, the judge is going to take it as such. So be careful. Let us be honest. All is done by Mngomezulu. In this case, Mngomezulu was here to specialize on this particular part and is doing exactly that. Sometimes there's no need to add extra. All is good.
All is good.
If you know that you are not going to be able to trade carefully, just leave it like that. Let it. That is like others do.
I have no further questions. No further questions. No further questions.
All right, this is the time. I see people are calling, but I'm not going to be taking any calls now. Reason being, I'm shutting down. Just gonna have to. We have to rest.
Even the cameras, I think the batteries.
We just need to rest, even if they are not. We otherwise tomorrow we will be here sleeping. Let me call out people here. Nick Kumalo, Pedro, Space Pay, Togozisi Langa, Zaman Kwabe. Just gonna be calling people. Thank you guys. This is basically me thanking you. Tuli Tools. Thank you.
Thank you, Tuli Tools.
For just being with us. I mean, Ansike Moyo, thank you.
Ansike Moyo, thank you.
And then
our moderator.
It's our moderator, yes. Sizwe Mgaga, thank you. Spa Masugu, thank you. Crash, thank you. Tabiso, thank you. Lebza, thank you. Butlali. It's Butali. I think G2, thank you. Mudley, thank you. Stu Dube, thank you. Mrs. K, thank you. BJ, thank you. Gwelagiti, thank you. Backyard, thank you. And then I have quite a few. Okay, but thank you. Maforja, thank you. Let's sit down. Dotito. Yes, thank you.
Govern Sami Moodley.
Hey, it's Govern.
Yeah, Govern Sami Moodley. Thank you. Tabiso. Thank you. G2. Mrs. K. Is it the same Mrs. K that's on the... I'm just asking. Is it a different Mrs. K?
Which Mrs. K?
There's a Mrs. K on the live chat for the court. She's exhausting. He or she. I don't know who's running that. So yeah, she's always getting dragged on the chat.
No, but the Mrs. K that we have here is well behaved.
Is she? So it's a different one. It
Yeah,
can't be
so
that one.
I mean we talked about this. I
can't be
don't
that one.
want to entertain it that much. This one is the subscriber who's like really well behaved.
Okay, hi Mrs. K. Welcome to Mzansi Reality.
Paul David Molo. Yes. Thank you. Ziakala, thank you. Ziakala.
Ziakala. Zama M. Msani. Thank you.
And then we have
Sipe.
Yeah, Dimitriv.
BJ.
Dimitriv Velashkov. Thank you.
Nomvechani.
Lindeni Hadebe, thank you. Bungane, thank you. Cosmo, thank you.
Lebza and Sizwe Mgaga.
Kodak support, thank you. I think this is a channel. Ntozis Lutuli, thank you. Basically, that's it, guys. I mean, we have covered all of you. Please like the video. And if we didn't mention you, Pumzile Mzimkulu, thank you. Mev03, thank you. Slu Kumalo, thank you. Boitumelo Moja, thank you. And Tembelani Kanye, thank you. That's basically it, guys. DJ Afro Jan, thanks. Tisha TV, thank you. And then that's it, guys. I think I have called all of you. If I haven't, then there's another day. David Mabuza, thank you. Yeah. Ihodzi, thank you. Don't come for me. I like the video. Thank you for all this. Joe Munare, thank you. Blessing Mabena, thank you. And yeah, Zama, I have called your name. And try by all means to do that. Yeah, that's basically a night. Good night to good morning.
Good morning,
everyone. Good morning.
Good morning.
Everyone. It's a bye from me.